What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. So today we're gonna be comparing my EG K24 build versus my Integra K20 build. We'll talk a little bit about the difference and the comparison versus both of them and the parts. Let's go. All right, if you guys been following the EG, if not, just go back, check the videos. By all means, it was not a cheap build. It was pretty expensive all around. I calculated it at more than $10,000 on this build. Obviously, you could build something cheaper. You could build something a little bit more affordable, but a lot of these parts that I got are name brand for the most part and brand spanking new. Keep in mind this build I did about 6, 7, 8 years ago, so the price can vary to today's market. So yeah, so I'm pause it for a moment here, and then I'm gonna talk a little bit more about the breakdown. So I apologize for the mic volume, but I'm switching it around, trying it out, see where it's the best, where I can clip it on. But yeah, let's get started. So we're gonna start with the radiator. We obviously went with a CSF K-swap radiator as a dual quart, super nice. It dissipates heat. You know, I got it matched up with a spa fan, which I got from Amazon. Really good. You know, it's about $100 or so. It has about 1,300 or 1,200 CSFM to flow. You want to get a good fan to dissipate the heat. So yeah, so the radiator I got it from HBT Auto Sports. I'll put the prices here if I remember. And then I do have an eBay shroud, which is a half-size shroud, which I had to modify because I am running a 12-inch fan. The bigger the better that can fit in there. Don't go with a tiny one. If you do go with a tiny radiator, just make sure it has good flow or CSFM flowing on the fan itself. All right, so we're gonna go with the upper radiator hoses. I did go with hybrid racing, super easy. You can cut and mod them, nothing to it. I know by the looks of it, you cannot see from the bottom, but I do have a K20 style swivel with a Type R B18 B16 thermostat, which I drilled 3 1/8 holes to bypass quicker, opens up quicker. Never had any issues. It cools like a champ. This is a JDM K24, a 2006 RBB3 out of an obsolete, which is the same as an Odyssey. It does have a Type S oil pump as well. The engine I got from HMO. Type S oil pump I got from HPT Auto Sports. I am running an EP3 idle pulley. It's a K-Tune one, a K24 one with the correct belt size. I do have a C3, K20 Z3 alternator. I do have a 2002, 2002 to like roughly the same year CRV 2004 water pump housing. I didn't do anything to the engine itself besides the Type S oil pump. I still have the 25-degree in there and the stock harmonic or crank pulley, as you guys will call it. I'm gonna get the engine and the transmission component out the way. So transmission, we're running a DC5 Type R from HMO as well. Transmission 6-speed with LSD. We have it paired up with a Stage 3 competition clutch with a light flywheel. Apologize in advance, which I did not record inside, but we have a stock RSX box, shifter box with meshing cables, which I got from Dave, good buddy of mine. He sells parts and stuff, so make sure I hit him up. And it is from a Type S, which I don't know if it makes a difference from that or a base. And I have it mounted on top with a shifter plate. Nothing special there. It wasn't expensive. Didn't break the bank. Pretty affordable for the most part. Actually, the most budget setup you can go with. All right, so going back to the bay, we do have some Hasport EGK2 mounts with 72 on the stiffness. I won't say they're too bad. If I can go again and do it all over again, I will go with the 62s just because it's more of a street-driven vehicle and it does vibrate some amount of decent, not too crazy. That's why I went with the 70s just in case. But I will recommend if you're just street-wise, the 62s will be just perfect. And I even believe even on track they'll be perfect. Not too vibration, and they're actually pretty stiff for what they are. I believe I got those from JSP USA. I'm not too sure. The nice things about these is that they're dual height. So right now I do have my K24, which is a little bit taller than a K20, sitting at K20 settings because I wanted all the oil pan clearance. And but you do have to cut the hood, which I did. I brushed the hood, but that's just the price that you pay for having it at a higher setting. Because my fear was that it was going to hit the oil pan, and I didn't want none of that stuff to happen. All right, so for the wiring, I do have a Type S O2 to O4 RSX Type S, which I got off of eBay. I have it paired with a Sparks Racing conversion harness. Never failed me. Perfect. Make sure to hit them up as well. And then meshing sub harness, which I customized for the K swap, along with a custom of mine charge harness as well that I made for the swap. So all that courtesy of me. Also, ground cables, which I made myself as well. So I did save myself some money on that. Just customizing all that just to fit the K swap application. In case if you guys are wondering, you do not have to change the battery size. It's still going to be I believe it's a 51R. So that was another doubt that I had when I was doing the K swap. But just wanted to throw that out there for you guys, so you guys are not confused, or at least answer that if you guys are a little bit, wondering about that. All right, so I do have an RBC intake manifold. You guys can see nothing touched to it. I believe I got that from an OEM, Honda dealership, but I got that off of eBay. I have a Kohler intake, which I believe I got from HP Autosport. Sorry for that brain fart. It is 3 inch. It's a 2-part, but I have it only at 1 part because I don't want it all the way down, because you will have to eliminate the windshield reservoir, which I want to retain. I have it paired up with a 70mm K20 throttle body, which has a hybrid racing adapter with 1/8 MPT plug hole, so you can relocate your bars or any vacuum fittings that you have. I do have, miscellaneous assortments of the plugs, so I do have a mat plug that goes on the throttle body itself. Which I'm sorry, it's kind of like the purge valve. Sorry, and then the map delete. I do have it on the intake manifold because I actually have it on the actual throttle body. It's up to you wherever you want to put it on. I put it over there because the wire kind of reaches a little bit better. And then for TPS, I have a Blocks Racing, which I've never had no issues with. I got that from HP Autosports as well. The throttle body I got from eBay, but it was from a trusted seller. And then those plugs, those assortment, I don't remember, from eBay, but they are a name brand. One of them, other one's like a generic one, but one of them is K-Tune. And then I do have an IAC, which I got off an Amazon, and knock on wood, has been working perfectly fine. Everything's been perfect. It does have a throttle cable from Hybrid Racing, which is OEM from a GA SAR. And when calibrating, everything went smooth. I got exactly what I wanted, close to 100. It was like 98 or something, which I will talk a little bit more when I go into the Integra, my issue that I had. And I think I blame it a little bit on the TPS, and it could be the budget throttle body when I talk about the Integra. I do have a K-Tune side water neck, which I believe I got off of HP Autosports, or I got it from eBay. It has K-Tune. It's a lot slimmer. It's just a little nicer addition. Everything's plugged. You don't have to plug anything or convert anything, so it's just nice. I am running heater hoses as well, which it was nice as well. A good addition to add to that. I do have a Civic CX model, which has no AC, no power steering. Everything's manual on it. And then moving to the fuel rail, I got it directly from K20. It's a 4 bangers edition. I have with the center gauge, you guys can see there, my fuel pressure regulator is also K20, which I got from HP Autosports. Fuel lines, they're custom by myself. They're -6 with an inline micron filter, which thank a lot to my boy Killen. He gifted me the K20 inlet micron filter, which I believe is 100. I know it's hard to see, but I am running insane shaft 32mm 500 horsepower rated axles, which I believe I got from HPT Autosports as well, or JHP USA, one of them two. Intermediate shaft is obviously from a Type S as well. And then almost done with the whole car. But yeah, we do have 1320 performance headers with a 2.5 Janankas catback exhaust as a quiet setting one. I know I should have gone with 3, but with the 2.5, I made some decent power. I made 240, and then a 195 on the torque, tuned by your own best Josh tune. The 1320 performance headers I got off at eBay, which are kind of hard to find now. And then the Yananka's 2.5 header, catback size I actually got from eBay as well. Not sure if I'm forgetting anything, but I know that I am running RDX injectors, which they're a OEM I got from HP Auto Sports with some eBay, good trusted seller jumper pigtails to connect to the engine harness because they do have different plugs. So I got that for the fuel, and then also I am running a Type S PRP ECU with K Pro B4 ECU I got from my good boy Dave a while back ago, and then K-Pro, of course, I got it from a local vendor that got shipped out, and we all know that, they are pricey, but back then it was about 600 something. Now they go for a little bit more. I want to say about 7 or 8. Your best bet is just to get an ECU already with it. But if you feel it's going to be cheaper, then go ahead and send it out. Don't worry, guys. I promise I am almost done. If I forget anything, please let me know because I know I'm going to be forgetting stuff. But I think I'm forgetting the fuel pump. So for the fuel pump, because obviously it's crucial. It's crucial for the build. I do have an AEM 340 or 320. All you need to keep in mind for the build is 255. So that's where the wall bros come in. But I went with an AEM. This is not 85. It's tuned on pump 91, 93. So yeah, if I did forget anything, just make sure you message me, let me know, hey, what about this or that? But I'm pretty sure I think I cover everything. Yes, I know it's irrelevant, but I'm going to add it anyway. So I do have a K-Tune Plus Slave. I heard K-Tune has perfected the OEM one. So I went ahead and got that. I actually got that from HPT Autosports as well. And then I got K-Tune clutch line, which I got from eBay, good trusted source. I did end up upgrading my clutch master cylinder to an S2000. So that's pretty much it, which I can recall regarding all this. Yes, fuel pump I actually got from a good seller online, and did end up upgrading my brake master cylinder to a EF one. It is a bigger reservoir because I did upgrade my brakes as well. But yeah, that's pretty much going to include the engine because that's irrelevant to the build on the engine. But yeah. Yeah, sorry guys for trying to rush. I'm just trying to make this sweet as possible. But if I did forget anything, make sure to just message me. What about this? What about that? Because I feel like I am rushing, and I'm also not sure if I cover everything. But if you guys have any general question regarding the build or what plugs or sensors to use, let me know. Also do your research. Finally, we made it to the Integra. This is my most current build, so it's more fresh in my mind. Not that the K24 EG is not, but I did have some fun building this one. It was a challenge. It is a budget one. A lot of mistakes, a lot of things that didn't go right, a lot of things that I can inform you guys as in what you should guys do or look for. But I'm going to be comparing it with my K24 EG build. It's years apart, obviously. Prices, different prices as well. Keep in mind, this is budget. There's pretty much no name brand in here other than I think a coupling that I had. But I am going to start breaking it down. Did have fun with this, like I was telling you guys. But I'm not going to beat the dead horse. And let's start, talking a little bit about it. To be honest, there's no difference when building a K24 versus a K20. They're pretty much identical. And what helps with the K20 Z3 is that essentially it's identical to a K24, other than the displacement is a little bit smaller, but it does have the side water neck. Everything of it, it's pretty much similar to the K24. Um, Another difference is the K20 Z3 does have an oil cooler setup, which I retain, in the engine as well. But yeah, let's start talking a little bit about the swap, and let me see where I'm going to begin. So first of all, I'm going to talk about all the wrong issues that I have with the car. That way I can help you guys out if you guys are doing a budget setup, budget build. First of all, I went with a RSX, or you can go with an EP3 radiator. But in this case, I went with an RSX, which bolts up directly to the brackets of the Integra. Now, I can't vouch for an EG or an EK. I'm sure you're going to have to modify it. But the upper inlet is too close to the throttle body. Usually on K-swaps, they're a little bit more farther away, more to the left-hand side. You guys can see a little bit scooter. And it does clear, a lot of your throttle body, and obviously the TPS, which got in the way, and it was a big issue trying to calibrate my TPS with the cable pretty much smacking right on the actual upper radiator hose. So that's one of the issues right there. The second is I went with a budget throttle body, and it was a pain. I'm not sure if mine's a little bit defective, but I did get a defective TPS, which also worried me because it's the same one that I have on my same brand. It's a blocks racing one. It's the same one that I pretty much have on the EG. For some reason, did not want to calibrate more than 86 or 80 something, which got stuck there. So it could have been a faulty TPS. That could happen too. Everybody talks about the Acuity ones, but they're not bulletproof as well. But you pay for what you get. So essentially, we're talking about a 75, $65 one versus 100 or so. But keep in mind, K series ones are not bulletproof. If you want something that's gonna last, a lot of people get the B series and then they get the adapter kit. But back to throttle body, I had to take it apart several times, adjust the spring, in order for me to actually get it where I want it. So that was a problem right there, which I did not have that with the K20 one. Obviously, we're talking about 160s, 170 name brand versus something that's not. So you're taking a risk. Obviously, it's a budget. I wanted to test it out, and then that way I can inform you guys regarding what I went through. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have been lucky, or a lot of people have not no issues, but that was one of the issues that I had. If I remember of anything else, I'll let you guys know. But I know the engine mounts were also a little bit issue. They were lacking. They were cheap, about $120. I was lacking a couple of the hardware, a lot of the screws. One of the ones that was a wrong thread pattern for the bracket for the transmission. And yes, so my transmission also had faulty threads on it, which I had to put helicoils on them. So that was my fault from the seller buying it locally. That I feel I got a little bit misinformed or misled, but that's my fault. You live and learn. But so those are the only things that I can pinpoint off the top of my head. This was a lot of mismatch, using a lot of stuff that's universal in order to make it work. But it is a budget. It did cost me, should have said it from the beginning, $7,000, give or take. I'm going to be mounting AC, which is irrelevant, but to the build, because it's optional, same with power steering, which you guys can see. But with the AC and everything, it should be about the same because right now it's way less than, it's like six something, but I'm rounding it off to seven. All right, so without the way, let's start out. So I'm gonna start out from the beginning and the inside. I am running a Kemso fuel pump. I believe it's a 340. It's a cheap one. Cost me about, it's like 30 bucks or so. I had it for a long time. I was gonna use it in the EG. Ended up using it on the Integra. So far, so good. Knock on wood. It's been holding up. It builds pressure. It's pretty good. It was only 30 bucks I got it off eBay. Since we're already inside, so I do have a RSX space shifter with meshing cables from the junkyard, which I got off a whole bundle from a transmission, the spare transmission that I got that I'm working on. I'll say give or take about 50 bucks or so. I did end up cutting the tonneau and getting a budget eBay, kind of like a knockoff of K-Tune RSX, like a kind of like a cut shifter. So that was about, I want to say, give or take 90 bucks or so right there for that whole kit to mount that. I had to get, like replace the little bushings and stuff like that from the actual shipper itself as well, which I got those from eBay or Amazon. I forgot, I think they're about 20, maybe 15 bucks or so. So that's in the inside. And then what else inside we have? This was an automatic vehicle, by the way. It's a 2000 Acura LS automatic, which I ended up converting. So, pedals and everything. I got off, donor vehicles. Just go back for the videos if you guys want to stay in touch with a little bit brief about the car. But yeah, conversion harness is a wireworks which I already own. I had it for a couple years. It was pinning correctly. I fixed it and then I'm using it on the Integra and made it work. So I saved myself money on that. Keep in mind that engine harness, I mean that conversion harness in the did cost me about 280, but it was a long time ago. So I'm just adding it as free because I already owned it. So it's part of the build. Let me see. Engine harness. I do have a base RSX manual engine harness from an '02 to '04. This is actually an '03, which I also got from a bundle at the junkyard. So I want to say give or take it's about maybe 40, 25 bucks or so. About it was about 125 for the whole thing. So I'm just trying to like find what was the price. I want to say it was about maybe 25, maybe 30, 50 bucks or so for it, give or take. ECU got off on eBay. It was about 160. It's a P&D automatic, which I converted with the VSS to work with a manual on transmission. K-Pro, I got it locally from Source. Obviously, it went up in price. Your best bet, like I was saying, is just buy one already with everything inside. It'll be a lot cheaper. We're talking about maybe like $300 or $400 of difference, which is a lot. All right, so now that we are in an electrical portion, so uh, con converter harness I made myself, compatible with the swap. Charge harness I made myself. Ground cables I made myself. So I did save myself money on that as well. All right, so we do have a K20Z3 here. I believe it's an '07. I got it from GDM Orlando. I believe it has, according to the VIN, about 152,000 miles or so. It's not the greatest, but it's not the worst. I think I paid about 1,000 or so, give or take. And I do have it paired off with a base RSX transmission, which unknown gearing. I know it has LSD inside. I'm not sure if it has maybe Z3 gearings in there. I'm not sure. I know it is a 5-speed. I'm just going off what the seller told me. I ended up paying like 1,400 because I did pay for the LSD, so that's why it was a little bit pricey. So I'm not too fond of having a 5-speed. But that's the deal that I got. That's the deal that first came, first served. So I ended up going with it. And then we do have a Clutch Max, which I got off on eBay. Heard great reviews. It is a stage one. The flywheel is kind of heavy, more on the stock side. So I'm still breaking that in. And I think that was about 130 or so. And now went up in price about 160, maybe 140 or so. So I got that off of eBay. And the transmission I got from a local seller. All right, like I was saying, the radiator is I think it's like a single quart. It holds pretty well. Temperatures, everything seems working perfectly fine. I do have a full size shroud in there, which I got off at eBay, which I modified to put a spa, which I didn't want to cheap out. It was about $100. The spa, the radiator was about $100 and the shroud was about $100. I do have a AC fan in there as well, which is a 12-inch fan, but it's not connected yet. The spa was about, I want to say, $100 as well, which I got off Amazon. Everything else I got off of eBay, which I had to extend the wires, you guys can see, because it's on the opposite side versus a D and B series. I did get those brackets which you see holding the radiator from Amazon. They're just, you can just search Civic or Honda radiator brackets and they will pop out. They work amazing and they line up perfectly fine. You don't have to customize like I've seen or drill new holes. I have eBay upper radiator hose from China. That's the only thing I can think of. They were about 22 bucks. The bottom one is an OEM one for an RSX. So it was about 11 bucks. And I got that off on Amazon. I'm running a K-Tune swivel V1 style, which I got off on Amazon. That was about, I want to say, 30, 40 bucks with a stand style B series Type R B18 thermostat, which I drilled a couple holes and it's working beautifully. The K20Z3 comes with the RBC intake manifold, so I'm not going to shed light on that. I do have an Amazon or eBay cold air intakes at 3 inches, a universal one, which I made work. Like I was saying, I have a 70 millimeter throttle body. I did end up going to blocks racing, but it gave me issue TPS, so I ended up moving forward to a what was it? Dorman Type S TPS, which is about 28, 30 bucks on Amazon. That you don't need no bracket or adapter plate to put it. It bolts up directly to the RBC. I do have an Amazon GSR replica cable, which I got for 13 bucks. I do have the Purge eValve charcoal canister, everything running in here like it's OEM. We are running IAC as well. Pretty much I got that from it's from the junkyard, pretty much clean an IAC and had it stored and saved, so I ended up adding it onto it and then putting it on K-Pro. For my fuel lines, I made myself. I ended up using the existing fuel filter from the top. The fuel rail is from eBay. It's from Jack Spaniel. It's a replica similar to Hybrid Racing. We do have RDX injectors for 10cc. These are aftermarket ones from a company that is amazing at making injectors. I'm also running heater hoses, which I fabricated from the existing and the K series hoses. I modded the side water neck to eliminate the bar fitting in that it has, and I put on one MPT tap fitting. Fuel pressure regulator is an eBay one, which I seen and it was working beautifully. Knock on wood. I think it was only about 40 bucks. Fuel roll was about 60 bucks. The dash 6 end fittings were about 15 bucks on Amazon. And then I am running, this has no Type S oil pump, by the way. It's still the stock one. And then I do have eBay engine mounts or Oasis brand. I think they're about $120. It is 62 stiffness and it feels amazing. It feels way better than the 70 something. These were a little pain to work with, but they do fit, and there's no adjustability, so it's only one setting. All right, for the exhaust, I have a K-Tune. It was about, I want to say about 3 something. It was the cheapest at the time for the one headers with 3-inch catback exhaust all the way from an Integra. Headers I ended up getting from HP Autosports. It was a super great deal. Cheapest at the time, like I was telling you guys. And then the catback exhaust I got from eBay. It's a God Snow, and that was about 160. I'm pretty sure they probably went up in price, so I'm not sure. And then yeah, so I pretty much kept the stock. So as you can see, I reused a lot of the old stuff, ground cables. I made my own. I reused a lot of the old ones from the B series. The clutch master is pretty much off a Integra, which I just bought a new one. It's a X80 one that I got. The clutch line I got from eBay. It was about 23 bucks. The clutch slave is a reuse one that I cleaned up that I used from an existing, I think it was like a K20 transmission or so. If I forgot anything, make sure to let me know what I forgot. But yeah, that's pretty much going to conclude the video. It's a little bit brief of me that, you know, comparing my K24 and my K20 build. Um, I'm pretty sure I forgot something because I was trying to go fast, because obviously I am almost at 30 minutes video. So who's going to watch a 30-minute videos? But if you guys made it this far, thank you guys. And yeah, so if you guys find this video nice, make sure to bless me, like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification for any more videos, following videos, because I am going to be making more content to come. And I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for watching. I hope it helped anybody out that has any discrepancy or doesn't know what they want to do, or they're a little bit confused on what they were going to build. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys, and I'll see you guys.